Nation, and welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast, presented to you by PointsBet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when you sign up to live your bet life. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave at Bal BAWL Sports. Will the Thrill in Brazil.
Trill
in the bubble. He's at Won't Gottlieb on Twitter. Hi, Will. And we are CHGO_Bulls on Twitter. We got our producer and our pal Joey hanging out with us.
Joey!
We're back in studio, Dave.
Back in studio.
Just knocked over the game ball.
Knocked over the trophy.
First time in like forever.
Forever. It's been such a long time. I'm very happy to be here. When I was driving in, I was saying in my head, it's wild that I miss not being at my job.
Right?
Like I missed not being in here. I can't really say I've said that.
I can't wait to come back to work.
Do you miss being in the studio, Will?
Absolutely. I've been like bouncing around weird bedroom to weird bedroom trying to find a good place to podcast for 2 months. I'm ready to be back in the studio.
Dude, there's an extra chair there. There's a chair there.
Yep. There's the meats and cheeses.
The butts of these chairs are crying out for your butt, Will.
Did you guys leave my chair there, or you just got rid of it? You don't want
I left it there.
It doesn't have your name on it or anything, but
in my heart it does.
Keep it warm. Couple more days.
In my heart, it's there. It's there. There's meats and cheeses.
Oh, shout out to Green
sir.
Ridge Farm right out of the gate. I had some delicious sausages for lunch at the office before you got here.
Yes.
You would have said thanks, but no thanks anyway, because
I ate the cheese.
You went to the dark side and don't eat meat. But oh my goodness, Will, when you get back, you're gonna have to get yourself some of this Green Ridge Farm meats and cheeses, because bomb.
It does smell great. It does smell. There's the
there
chair.
It is,
there
Will.
it is. There it is. There you go. I told you, Thrill.
In all of its glory.
All the glorious is ready for you, Trill. It's ready, sir.
I think I moved my my little circle here onto the chair. So
See,
put the
that
circle.
Could be you.
Go back.
Yeah.
Sit right there.
I'm home.
Now put the circle right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
There it is.
There it is, right there.
And just look at me the whole episode.
Like, well, you look like you lost some weight there, buddy.
Whoa.
So you lost some weight.
Are you calling Will fat?
Are you calling Will?
No, I'm
hefty?
saying Lawrence is a slender build.
Lawrence is very lean.
This is a more lean, slender build than Will's.
Stop starting
chiseled
drama,
peck.
Joey.
I know. I'm stirring the pot. I've got a habit of doing that lately.
Before we get into our basketball topics today, we're going to talk about Alex Caruso's romp through Paris, which looked really fun.
It did.
We're going to talk about the Bulls officially bringing Malcolm Hill back on the two-way, and also kind of what's going on with Justin Lewis, who just had a surgically repaired ACL on the other two-way. And then we'll round things out, taking a look at that recent annual NBA coaches, GMs, and scouts survey that ESPN conducts for the NBA before every season, asking them some questions about what they think is going to happen in this upcoming season. The Bulls, pretty absent from any of the answers to all of these poll questions, so we'll talk about that too. But before we begin all of that, I just wanted to take a minute to congratulate Joey and everyone else who came out all season long. Season started all the way back in May. CHGO softball, our inaugural season in the Cup Chicago Media 16-inch softball league. We bowed out last night in the season-ending playoff quarterfinal loss to some very quality and worthy competitors over there at Odyssey,
the Yankees,
which of course includes our friends at 670 The Score. They are a very good team. They showed us our playoff exit. But you know what?
But you got that.
This right here is the game ball from our first ever playoff victory, which we got in round 1 2 weeks ago. And here's to many more playoff victories.
What a season. Well said. Sorry.
I went looking for the game. I couldn't find it. Looking for it to watch that game because I did want to check it out. But I did see something else. I didn't know there was an All-Stars. I didn't know y'all had All-Stars about this. They had picked an All-Star league. Did you know this?
Mm-hmm.
I saw this, and then I was like, okay, well, let's see who makes off CHGO Sports. And I looked at the list. It was Kevin. Kevin was on there at first base.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Moreno was on the left field. You know what I'm saying, in there. And Brett Pomeroy. I'm not familiar with Brett.
That's Nick's buddy Brett.
Okay.
Who,
so Nick doubled up.
sort of like we invited friends and family to play all season long, and that's sort of allowed within the rules of the league. You can invite friends and family of your core, roster. And a serious shout out to Nick and his whole crew, because pretty much every week this season, Nick's dad, shout out to Mo, he pitched a lot for us when Joey wasn't available to pitch.
Shout out.
His girlfriend Steph.
Okay.
And then his friends Brett and Lauren showed up every week to help us take the field and compete in these softball games. Mad appreciation to them. Quick shout outs also. I brought in some ringers here and then throughout the season when we needed them. My friends Trent, Jules, Coons, Dale, Kira, B. Willie. Appreciate all you guys for subbing in for us.
Yes.
Will, I will say this. You were missed in the outfield last night. Really could have used you. We had some bad, crucial drops in the outfield in the first inning when they just jumped out to an enormous lead. And if we had you out there in left field, things might have gone differently.
It was, 18-4, so maybe not that differently. But
they put up like 12 or 13 in an awful first inning. We played them very evenly after that first inning.
Really? Wow. Okay. Well, next year I'll be there. I would love to play some basketball with them, some flag football. I don't know. Let's expand. Maybe
a little golf.
Play them in some other sports.
Maybe a little golf.
Maybe a little golf after you grab yourself some merch from pinsandaces.com.
We can get pins and aces, but I don't think me golfing against anybody is a good idea.
Oh, and Will, and one more I forgot to mention. Right fielder, Matt Peck, All-Star of the CHGO Sports, baby! All-Star! Matt Peck! You heard it.
I don't know who nominated me, but that was a typo and a half.
Oh, I was so proud.
Hey, man.
On a bad quad.
It could have been just for one diving catch I made in right field. One game, all season long, I made one very impressive catch in right field.
You did go 5 for 5 in one game also,
I did.
sir. So don't sell yourself short
here. And I
here.
cranked a great single last night.
There it is.
Over the head of their shortstop, who, by the way, shout out, their shortstop, the great Cody Westerlin, who covers the Bulls for 670, our friend.
Cody. Shout out,
and
man.
worthy competitor.
Yes.
Shout out to Lawrence Holmes.
Lawrence was in
their
the
stud
building.
first baseman, their leadoff hitter.
Alabama super fan.
Alabama, man. Graduated, baby.
Gabe Ramirez, who does weeknights on 670. Dave, you've chatted with him. I've chatted with him on 670 before.
That dude can play.
He is a great competitor for that team.
Yeah, athletic roster.
Oh,
really athletic roster.
Mad respect.
They got athletes, bro.
And congrats to that 670/Odyssey team. They're
not playing around.
They are charging into the semifinals.
Listen, I didn't love Lawrence's post-game comments about Alabama, nor did I agree with them, but the guy was raking all game. He was raking out of the leadoff hole. I mean,
I told you.
You did tell me. This guy can handle the stick. Like he was line drives directly into the outfield. Me and Ryan were adjusting and still just finding the holes. So good player. I mean, I don't know if you're going to be playing in January if Bama shows up like how they did on Saturday, but whatever.
Bama beats in. Throw it in.
And let's be honest, everyone loves rooting against the Tide.
Well, I don't.
Unless you are a Bama fan. They're the Yankees or the Patriots of college football.
I've always kind of liked Bama, but I had friends that went there, so,
There's that Longhorns cap.
Yeah. Friends and family in Alabama, man, so it's different for me. It's a little different. But Texas, man, my ex-girlfriend, her mother went to Texas, and just was all about it. So I became an A&M fan because of that.
Yeah, how'd that go for you? How did that go for you this weekend?
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch them.
Number 6, Texas A&M.
Years ago, dude. We broke up. We broke up, and me and A&M broke up. I don't care.
So you should become a Texas fan again, you know.
That was not my first ever hat, Joey, was a Texas Longhorn hat when I was like in 8th grade. I fell in love with that hat. I wore
that
it
means
all
a
the
lot
time.
because you're a big hat guy.
Yes, and I loved it. I wore it all
What did it look
time.
like?
It was white with the orange brim and the orange
Snapback?
Yeah. No. Fitted. It was me,
Sorry,
bruh.
but flat brim or no?
It was flat. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Flat brim.
Okay.
And the
I'd have to look
orange.
into reuniting you with your old favorite hat.
Joey,
you guys still on good terms, Dave? What about her mother?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I
can on good terms with her mother.
Right, I'm gonna see if I can find that hat on Facebook.
Me and her still on good terms. Me and her, we cool. You know what I'm saying? We cool. What's happening?
All right, guys. So
You think she's watching?
In her words, yeah. She seen the show.
All right.
She seen the show, Will. I'm an awesome guy, Will.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
All of Dave's exes still love him and miss him dearly, I'm sure.
And my ex lives in Texas. Exes
in Texas.
Look at that right there.
Caruso was not in Texas.
He was not.
He was in Paris.
He was flexing on him.
I am jealous. But hopefully this was just a precursor and Alex Caruso doing us a solid to show us what we should do when we go to Paris in a few months.
Okay.
Because we're clearly going to go to Paris for this Bulls-Pistons game in January.
We in the house. We in the house, man.
Into existence.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, that picture of him hanging out in the Louvre and the Bulls, put it up on the Bulls Twitter and just, had that caption that everybody says about everything in the sports world on Twitter, put it in the Louvre.
Yep.
It's just Alex Caruso standing in the Louvre.
In the Louvre. He's
so
there.
meta, so great.
He's there.
Does he have like a professional photographer following him around who took these pictures?
I think they
incredible.
did. I think the Bulls combined with NBA Social sent him with a camera crew.
Got it.
To go do some promotional stuff.
Because I was like, these pictures are incredible.
They are pretty nice. Yeah, they are pretty nice, man. That looked like somewhere to go to be standing, like right in the Louvre, man. Just standing there looking cool.
Right.
I can see that. I can see that.
Next January.
Yes.
It's going to be us, man.
Let's do it, man.
I also love that picture of him. He went to the Be In Sports offices in Paris. It's like an international sports broadcasting company.
Okay.
Sometimes when you are like, wait, what's Be In Sports? It's like when it's like the round of 64 in March Madness or whatever.
Okay.
Be In Sports. But he's like, I found this picture of DeMar DeRozan.
And I sure hold it up.
Looking menacing in a Bulls jersey at this random broadcasting office.
Put that back up, Joey.
It's up on the screen.
Now I'm trying to figure out that Spurs jersey back there in the back.
Monclar.
I'm not familiar.
Neither am I.
Will, are you familiar with this?
Not familiar.
I don't know who Monclar is, number 27 on there, but I mean, shout out to him. He's got his jersey framed for some reason hanging out in the BM studios.
So Pac wanted to take, a trip to Paris as the CHGO Bulls. So that's what we did. We have some iconic Paris photography. Here we go.
Okay,
That's at the Eiffel Tower.
Where's the beret, though, Dave? You need a beret.
What are you talking about?
But okay, so I'm curious. I'm not sure if you'll get this reference. I'm hoping you do.
I look good right there. Wait, is that Michael Caine?
Yes. That is
Michael Caine.
That is Pac as Alfred at the end of Dark Knight.
That is Batman, man. Oh man, should I break this scene down for you? Oh man, that is.
And then there's Goat with Anne Hathaway.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that one from?
That's same movie. Same movie. Oh my God! Sorry, Paul. Shirtless Wonder is outside. In just shorts, by the way. Just look at him. Look at him. This survey of the scene. Got his hands on his hips
with a watch on
and a cigarette.
Just having a heater.
Look at him. Look at this man. He is amazing. He's an amazing human being.
Does he have a wrist on two wrists? Or does he have a watch on two wrists?
Yeah.
Maybe one of them is a bracelet.
He looks in deep thought, man. Like he could be an account executive or an assassin.
Go out there and invite him onto the show.
I think I'm gonna. I'd do it. I'd like to. But
speaking of Batman, just get him to shoot
up.
that, like the utility belt zip line over here.
But dude, it's the final scene of Batman, of the Dark Knight, when Michael Caine had been on him about retiring,
right?
And not playing and doing. And he said earlier in the movie, foreshadowing, I hope one day when I'm on vacation somewhere, I'm reading my paper, I hope I just look up and I see you.
I remember that line.
There.
I remember that line.
And that's exactly what happened. He looked up, he saw him, he's looking right at him, and he's like, see my guy.
You know who would love this?
Who's this?
DeMar DeRozan. Batman, biggest fan of Batman in probably the entire NBA.
Oh yeah, he's got the Heath Ledger tat on one of his biceps, right?
He does have that Heath Ledger tat. This is
also,
true.
during the final stretch last year and during the playoffs, he gave he just went on this post-game press analogy of using Batman references for 2 or 3 straight games where he would just he had one thing about Bane, and I don't know, man. He loves Batman. It's so funny.
I'm not mad at him for that, man. Would it be Batman or Shirtless Wonder? I wonder who's more appealing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I'm gonna go Batman.
I'm leaning towards Shirtless Wonder, man. I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm no picture of the human, beauty in the form of the human body, but that dude.
Hey, man.
He's got some work to do.
The confidence he has in himself to walk outside every day like that, like, screw all y'all. This is my place. Put my feet up and smoke my heater, as Matt calls it. And just chill out. Look at him, man. Like, look at him. Not a care in the world. I love this guy.
Sammy in the comments saying "Born in the Darkness." Stacey hashtag Stacey King. Okay. I love a lot of the Stacey King-isms that we've gotten over the years.
Yeah.
His Bane impression, Stacey, I love you. Either get better at your Bane impression or take it out of the repertoire.
Dang, Will too?
It's bad.
It was bad. Okay, they played the Grizzlies one time in preseason, and he was doing the Bane voice after Desmond Bane for like 2 months at the beginning of the last season.
So just wait until this year then. When let's find out when they play Memphis, because it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
you know it's coming back out.
I'm sure.
You know it's on its way, man, and I can't wait to hear it, man, so I can laugh. Him and Adam Amin do it. Adams isn't great either. They both do it, but they do it in unison, and it's funny. Because they're doing it in unison, man, and it makes me laugh. It does. It makes me laugh.
I want to see both of them try a Michael Caine now. We've heard their Bane. It's bad.
Do you have a Michael Caine?
No.
I don't.
It's a hard voice to replicate.
It is. Yeah, I know. It's like a Christopher Walken English version of it. Yeah, at some point. And Lawrence does a lot of great voices too. He does a lot of things, man, but he can't get that one down. Can you do a Christopher Walken?
Man,
yeah, he can do it all, man.
Everyone can do a bad Christopher Walken.
Yeah, anytime you can do a bad Christopher Walken, you got to do it on the microphone.
That was like Christopher Walken with shades of Jerry Seinfeld.
What is the deal?
What's the deal with the razor blade slots in the bathroom? Are people actually shaving in there? Oh, my goodness.
We're off the rails already.
So, Alex Caruso went to Paris to promote Bulls Pistons this upcoming season.
Yes.
We're going to go.
Yes.
Have you bugged Brandon about it recently? I was on United.com looking at flights this morning. They are very affordable.
They are very affordable flights. If anybody out there who's going to be out there or stays out there, get in touch with us.
Right.
Let us know. You know what I'm saying? Because we love to know where to go. You know what I'm saying? Where to hang out,
And would love to hang out with any Bulls fans who are going.
Seriously, man.
I know, we got some Bulls fans who tune into our show occasionally from all over Europe, but I'm sure some of them included and like maybe some people in Europe who are diehard Bulls fans are going to make the trek to Paris themselves.
I know Bulls UK said he wants to make the trek out there.
Shout out Jimmy.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going on their show this weekend, so I'll ask him then, man.
Boom.
Do it like flex.
Will, have you continued bugging Jake and Kevin about this? We need to make sure this happens.
I need to wait until I'm back in Chicago before I
need to wait till you're back from your 2-month sojourn down to Brazil before you bug them about sending us to Paris.
A full week of being in Chicago before I can really start getting on them.
That's a good point.
Hey, man, all I know, clearly, Will, you have a valid passport because you needed one to get down to Brazil.
Yes.
I spent part of one of my vacation days going through the steps to renew my passport because it had expired. I hadn't traveled internationally in years. Do you have a current valid passport?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Get on it. Okay.
No, I already got it.
Wonderful.
I got it.
I mean, look at how much fun the DNVR guys had in Serbia. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
We can do that.
That was
if
amazing.
They're allowed to go to Serbia for a week, we're allowed to go to Paris.
Yeah. No, I completely agree, man. I'm a person who keeps his passport ready to go. I'm always ready with my passport.
In your back pocket ready?
No, just up to date ready. It's up to date ready. I don't carry it with me everywhere.
Oh, one of those love-scorned exes has tracked Dave down. He's got to flee the country.
I'm always prepared, man. Look, I'm prepared, bro. I mean, I might just have a drawer with, some money and IDs in it, just ready to go. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know I'm ready. That's all I'm saying.
What are some of the fake names on some of the multiple passports you have?
Oh, Jimmy Sloshcheck is one of them. Yeah. Nobody's looking for a Sloshcheck.
Are you a hockey player?
Nobody, exactly. See, nobody's looking. Nobody's looking for a Sloshcheck. They'll let me into those European countries post haste without any issue. Will be no problems, baby. Who's not going to let Sloshcheck in? Is all I'm saying.
No, I feel like if anyone of the three of us would get flagged at customs, it would be Will. Because he just has that sly, like sneaky smart villain in a bad guy look with the glasses and the perfectly coiffed hair.
They're gonna think he's Matt Damon. They're gonna let him right through.
It's like someone would look at his carry-on and be like, "Oh, there's all kinds of evil gadgets lurking in that carry-on bag,
ready to go."
I have my headphones and I have my phone and my laptop, and that's all I need.
And the phone
just to break down some Bulls games on the plane.
The phone turns into a knife.
Yeah,
which turns into a car, which allows him to escape. I see what you're doing there, Will.
Right. And it has an attachable jetpack.
Of course. Oh, yeah, he's got a parachute on deck. He's ready to go, man. He's ready for any situation.
So hopefully Caruso had a wonderful time. It's awesome that he went and promoted not only the Bulls' upcoming trip, but was sort of a spokesman for the entire NBA. Because like there is some footage of him on one of the videos that he and the Bulls released on social of him hanging out at the NBA store in Paris.
Yeah.
And like he stepped out of the car.
Yeah.
Mob scene.
Yeah.
Of people that were there to see Alex Caruso, which is just so awesome.
I think that's ever happened to him before. That had to be just an amazing feeling.
I mean, like maybe at a club in LA when he was like getting really popular with that Lake show.
Yeah.
Before COVID shut down the world.
Or maybe like Will in Brazil when he's just stepping out on the street.
Of course.
Like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
mobbed by Bulls fans constantly, I'm sure.
Everybody.
Everybody. That's right. That's why you got to go stay in different hotels. You got to keep moving.
Exactly.
You want the fans to catch you.
Multiple passports.
Our guy Hayes in the comments said Will looks like he'd be on that Army Hammer tip.
Ooh, that is no.
No, yeah, don't touch that one.
You did not.
Let that one go.
Not worry about the Army Hammer stuff going on. That's bad player comp.
We're going to go back to youth pass on you, Will.
Okay, so then let's talk about Malcolm Hill. But before we talk about Malcolm Hill, today's episode brought to you guys by, of course, who else? PointsBet. I was wearing a PointsBet sweatshirt playing softball last night. Yeah. Like it was a little bit breezy last night, and those PointsBet sweatshirts they gave us,
on point, right?
Perfect.
Yeah, I love
for
them.
just a little bit of crisp fall air.
I do appreciate it.
This football season, PointsBet is bringing you a better way to bet live on games.
Shut up.
You can place a live same-game parlay, bet on the next drive to be a touchdown, and cash out on your live second-half overbet.
What?
With PointsBet, you have access to more live football markets than ever before. Build the perfect live same-game parlay by combining your favorite bets anytime during the game.
Together.
Spreads, totals, player props, more. Choose the outcome of the next drive and the next point scored with PointsBet Lightning Bets. Oh, man, I was Lightning betting like crazy on Sunday. So whether you are on the move or on the couch, like I was, do it live on PointsBet.
Do it.
Download the PointsBet app today and sign up with that promo code CHGO to get your first 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services. And because football season is back, you know what I'm bringing back on Tuesdays?
Oh, is it parlay pick time?
PointsBet pick of the week. I'm going football because we don't have basketball yet.
Not yet.
Well, we do have WNBA, but I don't know enough about this finals matchup to make bets on it. I only make smart bets.
That's right. Smart man.
Chiefs Chargers, Thursday Night Football.
Yes.
Right around the corner. Over, under, currently at 54.5. Give me the over.
Ooh.
2 of the most high-octane offenses in the NFL. Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes combined for like 45 touchdown passes past Sunday.
Mahomes is my QB.
And you know what's always fun? Rooting for the over because you put money on it.
It is fun. I don't know what it means, but it's fun.
There it is. I'm rolling Chiefs Chargers over 54.5 on Thursday Night Football. That's my PointsBet pick of the week.
How was your fantasy?
Oh, 2-0 in my 2 leagues to start the season.
Good job, man. Good job.
Beat my brother and my friend Charlie. Suck it.
Well, we know one of the things that sucks about that man in the bubble not being here is he can't attend the awesome things that we're going to be doing here. And one of them is that Bears tailgate on the 25th. It's going down, y'all. Bears versus Texans. The tailgate is going down. So join us for our very first official CHGO Bears tailgate ahead of that Bears-Texans game. Like I said, on the 25th, Sunday. The 4-hour pregame party begins at 8 a.m. and it goes all the way to the kickoff, y'all. It's all-inclusive tailgate. It's the experience, and it's at the corner of Michigan and Roosevelt, y'all. That's Michigan and Roosevelt. We'll feature, guess what? Check this out. top-rated food truck, brews and booze, games, music from a local DJ, all of this for only $34. You see what they did right there?
Speaking of brews.
Threefold. Peyton, sweetness. That's why it's like that, y'all. And I'm not finished. The lot is less than a 15-minute walk to Soldier Field through Grant Park. You cannot beat this, y'all. Limited parking upgrades are also available, but they're going fast, so you might want to get in there before you be square, all right? So if you want to bear down and hang out with this guy, this will be my first Bears tailgate ever.
Yeah, you were at the Sox one, weren't you?
I said Bears tailgate.
Never
First
mind.
Bears tailgate ever.
CHGO tailgate.
Ever. If you want to hang out, y'all, at the biggest and best party in the Windy City, go to allchicago.com. That's allchgo.com to reserve your spot. Or click now on that link in that description below for more info. Faux show. This is going to be exciting, man.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to be there. Joe, you
8
coming?
a.m. is early, but.
You coming?
To the tailgate?
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Carm, you coming? Carm is in. Chris, you in there? Chris is in. Everybody's in there,
Everybody's
man.
coming.
Everybody's
Lawrence,
in
are you
there.
coming? He's producing the show, he said.
Boo this man.
Poor excuse. I can't come because I have to produce the pregame show.
At least Will's got a real excuse. He's actually out of the country. You just-
Whoa.
Very hard.
I'll be there.
Will be back by then.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking me if I'll
Will's
be there.
coming
I'll be
home
there.
this Sunday, right? You come home this Sunday?
This Sunday.
This is 2
This
Sundays from
Sunday.
now.
Wait, so you will be in effect?
I will
The
be there.
Thrillennial?
So if you were on the fence, this should push you.
If you're on the fence, Trillennial might be in the building.
Oh, he doesn't have a choice.
Oh, this would be awesome.
I will go to his house and throw him over my shoulder and bring him to the tailgate.
He will get 3 feet.
Only parking.
Quad's still a
No,
little
Quad's
tricky.
still a little tender. Little tender.
I'll be there.
Thought
It would be great to see you, man.
You were moving pretty well on the bases last night.
Did you see me move from first to third last night?
I said, get on your horse, Pack. Get on your horse.
But as soon as I made it to first on that single, you also yelled out at me, "Careful of that quad," which was good
trying to
advice.
tell you to be careful.
If they care. We care here at CHGO.
Turns out it doesn't matter how careful I am. If it's going to go, that quad's going to go.
Matt's 0 to
More
60.
often than
man.
not this season,
Yeah.
the quad went.
Matt is 0 to 60. He's on that field. That competitive juice takes over, and that's what you get. Oh,
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that tailgate. It's going to be a lot of fun. Check it out.
September 25th.
The Eventbrite link is on our website, allchgo.com. I believe it's also in the description of this
Yes.
YouTube here episode.
All
Check it out
facts.
there. And join us. Come hang out with us.
Come hang out.
Bears Nation.
Trillennial.
Woo! All right, guys. So the Bulls made it official via Shams Charanya's tweet late last week. The Bulls are using their second two-way roster slot on Malcolm Hill, a two-way player, two-way contract for the Bulls last year. He averaged 3.4 points in 10.5 minutes over 16 different appearances with the Bulls last season. There was some speculation there. You see the official announcement from Shams on your screen there as to what the Bulls might do with that second two-way spot, because they did months ago announce that Justin Lewis got the first one.
Yeah, they did.
What do we think about this news? We happy to see Malcolm Hill back. I'm just now finally getting over what he did to me in one of my bets late last season.
he's not.
He's a good player. He's a good player. That you also see, thank you, Joey, what he did in the G League appearances.
Yeah.
8 games for the Windy City Bulls. Those are some solid numbers, especially when you look at his shooting splits.
Nothing to sneeze at right there. And the most important one is the 40% from the three-point arc, because we know Bulls are going to need all the three-point shooting that they can get. And, I mean, it didn't feel like he wasn't on the team, like, during this whole offseason. I was always seeing Malcolm Hill, like, all the time. I would see him with the team, whether it was summer league stuff, whether it was just him working out in those videos. You were always seeing Malcolm Hill around. So,
And they did extend him a qualifying.
Yes,
So
correct.
he was a restricted free agent this whole summer.
So, yeah, it wasn't like he wasn't, there. He was always there. And it's good because that means he already had the rapport with the team. And the guys like being around him, and they enjoy Malcolm Hill. So, yeah, it's a no-brainer. And he also brings a little toughness also on that defensive end as well, giving you some size because he could defend some of those guys as well. And he's definitely one of those motor guys, you know what I mean? Like, he's tough, you know what I mean? He likes to get into it, and he can shoot a three-pointer. And, yeah, he's just going to help your bench.
You remember, Dave, when we were in Vegas and we had a chance to talk with him? He just seems like such a good dude. Yeah. He, really started, I think, taking his training, his diet, his, mental and emotional preparation for games a lot more seriously over the last year or so. I just think he's a good person to have in the Bulls system. And as I try to talk myself into continuity, I think there is something to be said for the fact that they're
how's that going?
I'm trying. Bringing back some of the same guys. They're using their two-way spot on a guy that was there before. He's a little bit older. I think he's almost 27.
Yeah.
But, you're right, Dave. He can shoot it. He can defend a little bit. He put up some numbers in Summer League. I think he was around 14 points per game, 4 rebounds on pretty good efficiency. So, he's a good scorer. I think when somebody like Lonzo goes down and you just need shooting, 3-point shooting in any way you can get it, you bring back a guy like this who has some size, who knows the program, who knows the system, who can hopefully just come in and give you some minutes when guys get hurt. I think Malcolm Hill kind of fits all those boxes. I don't think you saw Jarrett Culver, for example, get signed by the Hawks this past weekend.
Yeah.
Certainly, I don't think would help the Bulls in a way that Malcolm might, just given the fact that he can't really shoot. But it's also more of an upside play, whereas Hill, which I think works for the Bulls in this situation, is more of a safety, rotation caliber player that you can get in there if you need it. So they're playing for upside with Justin Lewis, and I like that they went a little bit more win now ready with Malcolm Hill.
I do too.
I think it's a fine move to bring him back on one of these two-way spots, and if called upon, he's a perfectly serviceable, hey, you're up kind of player. I think we saw that this past season. Yeah. And especially if he is called upon and can get a little bit closer to that 40% he shot from behind the three-point line with Windy City, because in his 16 games with the Bulls, I think it was down closer to 35% or something maybe not quite 35%. So a solid player to keep around. The other part of this to me that's because we hear the Malcolm Hill news just makes me think of Justin Lewis.
Okay.
The other guy on a two-way who devastating news after we saw him displaying some pretty impressive stuff in his Summer League appearances. Mm-hmm. We were all really excited about Justin Lewis after we watched him in Summer League. He suffers an injury in a off-season workout away from the team, and it turns out that he has a torn ACL that needs reconstructive surgery. Will, I know sometimes in certain, rules with the NBA, if a player has a significant injury, the team can apply for injury forgiveness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Does that also apply to players on two-way contracts? Do you know? Do the Bulls have essentially a wasted two-way contract spot now with Justin Lewis being out for the year? How does that work?
I'm actually not sure what the guarantee status of Justin Lewis's contract is right now. It doesn't say on Spot Track whether or not his contract this year is guaranteed. It's a qualifying offer for next year. So we'll see. They haven't cut him yet. And so I think, especially, given the fact that they only now just signed Malcolm Hill, it doesn't seem like they're in any real rush to use that spot on somebody else. I would imagine they want to do exactly what I said with Malcolm Hill, is just incorporate him into their program. They've had the same coach now for 2 years. They've had a lot of the same guys on the roster. Now this will be the second season together. My guess is that they'll want to keep him in the program and just try to develop him as much as they can while he's out, and then hopefully re-up next year and see what he can do. But there could be other guys that come onto the market, or a trade that happens, something like that, where they want to free open that spot and they may be able to cut him. I think the number is so small, even if it is guaranteed, that I don't think they would be able to get an injury exception for that. So for right now, it seems like Lewis and Hill are the two guys at the two-way spot. And it's really unfortunate about the injury, but I think that's just kind of where we are right now.
Yeah, it was very unfortunate. There were, in Summer League, and Will, I don't know if you agree with this, but there were basically 4 guys for me that I was watching in each one of those games, and that was Dalen Terry, that was Malcolm Hill, That was Marco, and it was Justin Lewis. Like, those were the guys that you were paying attention to the most on the floor. And Justin Lewis just had some moments for you. You know, we all talked about that block shot that he had, the dunks that he had. Like, it was just like, oh, okay, here's the interior presence, you know what I'm saying, that could help the Bulls. Not saying he was going to walk in, you know, and do it from the jump, but he had those tools. And I think that's what was the exciting thing about it, is we saw the tools that he had. Like, oh, he can actually work on those and give the Bulls something that they don't have right now at that. So, and that's what hurts it and kind of sets it back a little more for him. And plus, a guy coming in, you know, undrafted. You know what I mean? A guy they obviously didn't think, you know what I'm saying, highly of to draft him. You know, coming in undrafted, being one of those guys. You know, Bulls Nation, for Bulls, Bears, whatever team, we love those underdog stories.
Right.
And him also coming from Marquette. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that played into why people were so upset, you know what I'm saying, about hearing about this injury.
And he was like, you know, flirting with the word star at Marquette, especially towards the latter end of his time there.
Flirting, yeah.
And very easily could have gone in the draft, you know, whether it be second round or whatever. Like, I think he has the talent to be a guy who could have been drafted and wasn't. Maybe should have been drafted and wasn't. And that's why I think Bulls fans were excited. And maybe we got a steal with Justin Lewis. When you saw what he could do on that.
He had a second-round grade on him for sure, and I think a lot of people even had him towards like the front end of the second round. I'm not sure exactly what happened as far as why he didn't get drafted, but like, this is a great example of a team who doesn't have a second-round pick being able to find a way to get those kind of fringe roster spots filled. And I think he's a player. I wrote about him during Summer League. Like, if you're getting a whole column written about you during Summer League, I feel like that speaks at least a little bit to my interest in him as a player. So,
I mean, especially a column by the GOAT. If the GOAT's writing about you in Summer League.
Come on now.
But it's true. I mean, he fits a role, I think, that the Bulls just don't really have outside of Patrick Williams. And you can't have enough of those kinds of players. So I'm really pulling for him to come back healthy.
The comparison that comes to mind for me when thinking about this really unfortunate Justin Lewis situation is Max Strus.
Okay.
Because the Bulls had Strus in their, you know, development program when he suffered a very significant injury, and they cut him loose. And like, the Bulls at the time had much more important things to worry about. They were in stage one of a rebuild post Jimmy trade, and they're like, "Oh, you were an interesting young prospect. You're hurt. We don't really have the time or energy or resources to help you through your rehab to hold on to you as a potential future prospect." So they just cut ties with Strus. And then, like, especially when you saw Strus contributing with the Heat during their playoff run, a lot of Bulls fans were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we cut Max Strus and let him go. Like, what a misstep." It's like, more important things needed worrying about than Max Strus at the time. But now fast forward to the present day, and you wonder, are the Bulls, with this continuity that Will keeps talking about, in an established enough place where they feel fine holding on to a guy on a two-way roster spot because they believe in him so much, knowing that they will not be able to use him at all this year, as opposed to the Max Strus situation, which was just like, "You're hurt, sorry, buddy, but we've got to evaluate a lot of prospects this year. We can't waste a spot on you."
Well, I don't think there was a real attachment either to Max Strus either from the front office. But Justin, I mean, you just get here.
Right.
You know, we just get you, and we don't even see you on the floor yet. So Max Strus, you had an opportunity to see. So at least they could – and I'm not saying it was a lot opportunity, but it was enough for them to make a decision. With Justin, you simply don't know. You know, we know what it might be, what it could be, what excites us, you know, what gets you in the Thrillium papers.
Right.
But we don't know enough to say, okay, this is who he is, and we can make a decision about it going forward. And with Max Strus, the minute I found out he went to Miami, I wish I'd have to go find a tweet, but I said, this is the perfect place for him. He will thrive here. I tweeted that immediately because you just
say that about every player who goes to Miami because you're obsessed with Miami culture?
Jimmy Butler and Max Strus are the only two I said it about. Okay. I was like, perfect. This is perfect for both of them. You know what I'm saying? It would work. But Max Strus, you just knew it'd be perfect for because he was a shooter, and the type of style that they play, they're not going to ask him to do anything great. And the fact that they're going to hype up what you do best will allow you to showcase all the other assets of your game because your confidence will be so high. And you saw his confidence was out of this world. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I thought he'd be great there. I'm happy he's healthy, and I'm happy he's performing there. But I understand why they moved on.
Yeah, I mean, they were in a situation at that point where they were just trying to get as many, like, evaluations of young talent as they possibly could, because this was like the dead of their rebuild, right? Like this was like the early Boylan, late Hoiberg years where they just needed to try guys out and see if they could stick. And like, you go down for a season like that with an ACL, it's really hard to do that. So I hope what you're saying is right, Matt, that like, because they're in a position now where they can like sit on the talent that they have, they're comfortable with the roster that they have, obviously, like continuity. Then hopefully that allows them to stick with Lewis. But it's also a different front office, it's different management team, so we don't really know how they'll respond to this. But certainly, like from the fans' perspective, like don't make the same mistake twice definitely is something that you start to worry about.
Okay, so that's that. Just a little tidbit of news as far as the Bulls and their two ways. Welcome back, Malcolm Hill, even though you never really left.
Hey.
It's official. He'll be back on one of those two-way spots this upcoming season. Coming up next, we're going to talk about this ESPN NBA survey that they conducted with NBA scouts, GMs, coaches, with some big questions about what's going to happen in the 22-23 NBA season. But first, Big Dave, a word from our friends at What Time Is It?
Game Time. Who? Yeah. It's the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score those best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. So if you want to go see my man Lucky Day, if you want to go see Green Day, or if you want to see Javonte Green, all of these things you can get right here.
Javonte in concert?
Oh, you want to see him play?
What?
You want to see him play ball?
I want to see Javonte in concert.
Actually, you know what? Javonte in concert would probably be pretty entertaining.
I bet it'd be amazing.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if he can rap, sing, or what, but hey, I'm showing up because it's Javonte Green. Or what if it's Javonte Green with Green Day?
Oh. Game over for me.
Oh, I'm in.
I'm spending all my money.
Oh, have you ever dreamed of sitting in that seat that you thought you could not afford? That 50-yard line, courtside, or sitting with Thrillinium where he sits when he's taking those notes?
Fancy
have you dreamed of this moment? Because I know I have, and I did it in Summer League, and it was awesome. Floor seats at a concert? It's possible. All of this is possible with the Gametime app. It's the biggest last-minute price drop that could be found on seats that you thought you could never buy. You won't find a better deal this season on Bulls tickets. I'll say it again. You won't find a better deal on season tickets for the Chicago Bulls. You won't find it, all right? You do it here at Gametime, y'all. And just like at CHGO, it's created by the fans and for the fans. And they guarantee you the lowest price. So if you love CHGO, then you love Gametime. It's just that simple. The best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description. Join the 15 million people who have downloaded the Gametime app and score, yes, the best seats to all your favorite events. Because as Matt said, what time is it?
Game time. Who? Shout out Randy Brown. When I saw that we had a new sponsor that was called Gametime, I was so happy.
That's immediately what I was going to do.
That means for the rest of for however long our partnership lasts.
That's what it's going to be.
I just get to yell, what time is it all the time.
And I'm glad we're on the same page as usual.
Fellow Bulls fans of the 90s will know what we're talking about.
Yep, because that was my first thought. I was like, we're going to say Gametime.
Dude, when my brother and I are hanging out and getting psyched up about anything, like we were playing bags in the backyard at the Mish house, and my brother and I would be like, "What time is it?" Trying to psych ourselves up,
and you'll say,
"Game time, who?"
You got to have the who at the end. That's important.
That's how you win championships, Dave. Yeah. Is by asking your fellow people what time it is, and having them respond in a loud bellow.
Yeah,
game time, who?
Will, you sure you're trying to come back?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm having second thoughts.
I don't blame you,
but
man.
Will, it's game time.
Who?
It is.
It's game time. Who?
It is. It is game time.
It's not just game time. It's game time. Who? That's important, man.
Who?
That's important, sir.
Who? Game time. What? Game time. Where? The tunnel.
September 25th.
All right, guys. ESPN survey time.
Let's do it.
So they've been doing this every year for several years now, where they will pick a random assortment of NBA coaches, NBA executives, and NBA scouts and ask them questions about what they think they're going to see happen in the upcoming NBA season. Categories like best player. Who's going to be the best player 5 years from now? Who's going to be the rookie of the year? Who's going to be the best rookie from this class 5 years from now?
Yeah.
Who's the favorite to win MVP? Who just had the best offseason as far as franchises? Who just had the worst offseason? Who's going to get to the NBA Finals from the East? Who's going to get there from the West? And who's winning it all?
Okay.
Spanning a lot of different categories and a lot of questions. You know how many times the Bulls as a team or individual Bulls players made appearances in the results of this survey?
How many, Matt?
Goose egg.
A 0.
So I guess immediate positive spin. They weren't on the list of teams receiving votes for worst offseason.
Yes.
That is the best thing you can say about the Bulls in the results of this survey. Just scooting right down the middle of the lane.
They did it. They avoided that, and that was important.
Victory.
I wasn't too surprised that they weren't on anything on here, only because we know how ESPN has felt about the Bulls. When me and Matt used to do Locked On, we talked about it a lot. You know, the DeMar DeRozan stuff.
Gross indifference.
You know, the amount of wins they would have. I mean, just like you just thought they stunk. You know, Tim Bontemps and all his things that he said about them. Yeah, man. Like I just wasn't shocked.
Bontemps.
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked that the Bulls didn't appear. But I was very happy about what Matt said, that any of the negative stuff that the Bulls didn't show up on either, not even as a tie or anything like that. We didn't see the Bulls on here, and I was happy about that, Will.
Well, they didn't do anything, so it was hard to do anything wrong.
Hey, can't do anything right.
I think
some could have foreseen them and they're pretty much stand pat, other than Drummond and Dragic, as doing something wrong.
Exactly.
Because they did nothing.
They could have said that was terrible.
That's kind of where I am. I think with the offseason in general is just like, especially when you see the Cavs making these huge swings for Donovan Mitchell and the Hawks for DeJounte Murray. It's just very difficult to see your team stand pat. But I think they're also just in such a difficult spot right now where it would have been very hard to make a move, not knowing what's going on with Lonzo, just without very many draft picks to be able to trade. It's just a difficult spot. So I think it is not a great offseason. I think it's more towards bad than good, but certainly not, they didn't make any grave errors that will set them back a really long way. So I don't think you could be, quite that far down.
Yeah, I agree. The one thing a couple of things stood out to me on this survey, just looking at it. The first question, who's the best player in the NBA right now? I mean, it was Giannis by far and away.
Giannis received all 11
votes.
of 15 votes.
Yeah.
Steph got 3, Bron got 1.
That's the one for me. LeBron getting a vote as the best player in the NBA still in year 20, still getting a vote to say you're still the best player in the NBA. How good is
that
this
anonymous
dude?
NBA coach / scout / executive Rob Pelinka who cast his vote for LeBron
Maybe
James?
It could be. Who knows? But I thought it was impressive. I find that impressive that you can still make that argument for him to be the best player in the league, even in year 20, man.
The interesting thing about that category to me, though, Dave, who do you not see on receiving votes?
Jokic.
Kevin Durant.
Or Jokic.
People are like, they gave him 2 MVPs. NBA media's like, we're never talking about Nikola Jokic ever again.
Right.
Shout out and condolences to our friends at DNVR Nuggets. But Kevin Durant split first place votes with Giannis in this poll last year.
Yeah, he did.
Coming into the 21-22 season.
Yeah.
A year removed from that, not a single vote for Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. I wonder how much of that had to do with the Kevin Durant drama cycle of the offseason.
And even in here, they mention it. Talking about that, like you said, even split. One of the executives said, I think Durant is the most talented guy because of his shooting and scoring ability, but Giannis's will, the human, the winner, the mentality, the everyday effort, raising the effort of guys around him, it's hard to top that. That sounds like the bald-headed men has had a vote.
The human.
the human.
I mean, come on. Ew, Disney Plus special, Giannis.
Right. The human. Like KD don't have a thunderstruck. You know what I'm saying, out there.
Giannis is a machine. KD is a machine. He's not a human.
Come on.
He's the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz.
He also plays every game. I don't think you can really say that about – Steph missed time last year. LeBron missed time. KD missed almost a third of the season.
True.
I mean, these guys just like, it's very difficult to be the best player in the league. And there's a difference between 82 game players and whatever it is, 16 game players, right? Like the playoffs is a different beast. And I maybe would still take LeBron over just about anybody else in the playoffs. Maybe not, but like, yeah, Giannis, it's like, I think it's kind of a no-brainer to me at this point. Like we are in Giannis's league at this point. It has been for the last couple of years.
Giannis's league. How many MVPs do you think Giannis will finish with, Will?
He's got 2 now,
He's got 2 now, right.
Back to back. I would say at least 4. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's like on pace to easily be a top 10 player of all time.
Yeah. I mean, isn't he still only like 27?
He's super
27.
young.
That's ridiculous.
So ridiculous, man.
And you look, shout out to Steph for getting those 3 votes. I think Steph could have gotten a bigger share of that vote. By the way, he did just finally win himself his first Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Getting his team back to being the champions of the NBA when most everybody counted the Warriors out at the start of this past season.
They did. They definitely did count them out.
Matt. Everybody counted them out except for you, Matt.
You got to get Matt in there.
I know a thing or two, Will.
The other 2 things that were here were interesting to me. One, it just was interesting not to see his name was Kawhi Leonard. It was just interesting not to see his name.
I think
on anything like
recency
this.
bias, and the recency bias being like people forget that Kawhi Leonard is a person.
Correct. Or person or player because, he sat out, the injuries and the things like that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the fact that his name isn't even on there, knowing he's going to be well rested and be back, to play this year.
But even like before last year, which he obviously missed the whole season, last 2020, 2021, 52 games, 2019, 20, 57 games. Before that, 60 games. Before that, 9 games. Like he just doesn't play. And I think you can't expect him to play. I think the Clippers have 15 back-to-backs this year. Like you could probably chalk him up to miss at least 10 of those, if not more. Like he's not going to play. Kyrie, like these guys just don't play basketball. Like,
exactly.
Every single game. It's crazy.
And could have also factored into Kevin Durant's, lack of votes. Demond in the comments, I see he says 6 in the response to how many MVPs for Giannis.
I agree with Will.
It's certainly possible that he'll get 6, but they spread him around, right?
Yeah, they do.
Jokic ain't 3-peating an MVP this upcoming season, even if he has like a great season, and the Nuggets are like a top 3 seed in the world. They're just not going to do it. But speaking of Kawhi, the other thing about this survey and its responses that jumped off the page to me.
Well, let's see if we're on the same.
They may not believe in Kawhi Leonard, but they sure as hell believe in the Clippers because the Clippers received the most first place votes of who's going to come out of the West with 8, ahead of the Suns and Warriors with 3 votes apiece, and the Nuggets getting 1. The Clippers lead in votes for who's winning the chip with 5.
Wow.
Bucks 4, Celtics 4, Warriors 2. The Clippers with Kawhi, I never play, middle name, Leonard. John, what do I have left, middle name, Wall. And Paul, sometimes I play, George. People are buying in on these Clippers, and I don't understand why fully.
They've been wanting to buy in on the Clippers for years, ever since Kawhi got there. Ever since that bubble was.
I had him winning the chip in the bubble.
Oh my god, everybody did. I keep telling people 35% of the reason that bubble was created was to see the Lakers play the Clippers. That's all anybody wanted to see. Like that's what we wanted at that point. And I'm still mad we didn't get that matchup. That was the matchup we wanted. I'm still upset about that. But it's interesting, Matt.
Could have been Joakim's ring.
Could have been, yes. Oh, my God, yes. They screwed Joakim out of a ring. He's right. But it's just so because they haven't gotten past the second round. He's been here. You know what I mean? And it's like every year they're like, yeah, championship contender. Let's put him up there. And they do it all the time. I don't know what it's going to – I hope John Wall is together, and that injury, you know what I'm saying, is not an afterthought for him. And he could play much better. But I can't go out and pick them to win championships. You know what I'm saying? When you ain't got to a Western Conference Finals,
right?
Bro. You know what I mean?
If it's about talent on paper, and that's why these executives and coaches are so high on the Clippers, why aren't the Brooklyn Nets getting votes? Because if it's about on paper, Brooklyn Nets on paper are like the Monstars.
Go ahead, Will.
They did make the conference finals in 2020.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
I'm buying on the Clippers too. Like for exactly what I said about 82 versus 16 game players, like assuming there are no catastrophic injuries, Kawhi is playing in all those games. And that team is just so deep. They have the ability to play every style of basketball. They have Zubats and they have, Marcus Morris, who can play the 5 in a small lineup. They have 2 of the best defensive wings in the league in Kawhi and Paul George. They had John Wall. They've got depth in the backcourt, in the front court. And they have a closer. Like, they have a real big-time game winner closer guy. And, yeah, I mean, well, we'll see about Paul George. Like, he
Paul George, come on. Don't disrespect Paul George. That's some shade, Will.
I'm a huge PG fan, but it has gone one direction or another,
What really can you have on Paul George's playoff resume coming up big?
Oh no, he was playoff P, and he was like, he never had a game winner. He was like, I'm playoff P. Yeah.
You got Dame waving him off the floor on the buzzer beater.
Oh my God.
You got Paul George kind of disappearing in the conference finals against the Heatles when he was back with the Pacers early in his career.
True.
And this Clippers experiment has been mostly a disappointment so far.
He's been carrying it so far. He's definitely
He did not disappear against the Heatles. He was the best player on that team.
Okay, that's not fair. You know who disappeared was Roy Hibbert. Put out an ABP on that guy.
He hit that shot in game 1 to send it to overtime, that like deep 3. Oh, no, it didn't go to overtime because LeBron had that like spinning layup. But that was his coming out party. He was excellent in that series.
He was.
He has been very bad at other points in his playoff career. You are totally justified to give him that.
That's true. And one thing also from this survey I wanted to point out that I just found hilarious because of the time of it was the question, what team will Donovan Mitchell be on the day after the trade deadline?
Right.
14 out of 15 votes were the New York Knicks. 14. And the other vote, the Utah Jazz. That got a chuckle out of your boy.
Yeah, because this came out like the day before he was traded to Cleveland. Yep.
Exactly, man. But everybody knew it was going to be those. They just knew it, man. It's got to be New York. No, sir. You don't know in the NBA, man. You just don't know, man. That's what makes this league so awesome. You have no clue.
Still go to the Knicks. We don't know the answer.
I guess that's possible.
It can still happen.
I guess it's possible.
Let's double down on it.
It is pretty crazy how royally the Knicks screwed that up, though. Man, like, there's been all this different reporting speculating about, like, maybe it was about protections on the 3rd of 3 first-round picks that were involved in the deal because they were willing to throw R.J. Barrett in, and then, like, they just decided, no, well, that's not enough. But the interesting thing being, once the Cavs got them an offer that the Jazz deemed to be significant enough, worthy enough, they never even let the Knicks counteroffer.
That's true.
They're just like, all right, nope, sorry, Knicks, we're going to Cleveland.
Yeah, they were done with it, man. And it felt like the Knicks were like, okay, fine, we're just going to get Barrett back and we'll move on. So, what are you going to do?
Obviously, that could factor into the fact that the best offseason moves, teams winning the most of those votes in order, Boston, Philly, Utah. Maybe if they had done this poll after the Mitchell trade, more people say Cleveland.
Yeah,
but they already gave Utah some votes just for the Rudy Gobert trade and the haul they got for him. So maybe Utah finishes first in this poll if they take this poll after the Mitchell trade because they're like, damn, Danny Ainge, you have 40% of the entirety of NBA draft picks for the next 12 years.
And can I ask, when they were talking about the teams that had the best off seasons, how the Washington Wizards got a vote? I don't know how that. Did I miss something?
They got Monte Morris and Will Barton, man.
Okie dokie.
Congratulations on being 1 year removed from Russell Westbrook.
Okay, great.
That deserves at least a B+.
I mean, I didn't get that one, and the Knicks got a vote too. But I mean,
for Brunson, I guess.
I mean, I can see Brunson and Hartenstein and re-signing Robinson.
And re-signing Robinson, yeah.
But the Wizards, I couldn't get. The Sacramento Kings got one also. I don't. We don't like the Bulls.
Do we know? Could you vote for yourself on this poll?
They did not specify in the survey if GMs or coaches could vote for their own team or for their own players.
Maybe that's the answer to the Wizards one right there.
So
I hope so.
They probably could. Or some of them ignored the rules of asking politely not to and did anyway.
Well, it was a panel of 15 coaches, scouts, and executives. So, just different, 15, it's not obviously not 30. You know what I'm saying? So it shortens that number. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that would make more sense than anything.
Right.
Than voting for that team. That's my squad, and I think they deserve to be on here.
Quickly, worst offseason moves. Dallas receiving the most votes, likely with the departure of Jalen Brunson and not really doing all that much else to build around Luka. Charlotte and Brooklyn. Charlotte, obviously, some of their bad offseason was not their fault. All of the world of trouble that Miles Bridges is in right now. Brooklyn with their offseason drama. But, they're bringing back their core that hasn't played.
We did the offseason reviews. I gave them a really high grade. I thought they had a great offseason. They got
convincing KD to stay is worth some credit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even though they weren't in any position where they
as well as you possibly could.
They didn't have to trade him. The man is under contract for 4 more years.
That's true. Yeah.
We already covered the fact that everyone's really high on the Clippers. They got the most votes to win the West. The East, 7 votes for the Bucks, 7 for the Celtics, 1 for the Miami Heat. Interesting. No Philly in there. No Brooklyn believers in there.
Interesting.
I kind of expected Milwaukee and Boston to be the 2 big favorites of receiving votes for who's going to win the East, because I think they're the 2 best teams in the East coming up this year. Yeah. They were, in my opinion, the 2 best teams in the East last year, and I think they're going to be again this year.
Do you think, Will, that Golden State is going to fly under the radar after winning a championship, because they aren't even talked about? You know what I'm saying?
They got 2 votes out of 15 for who's going to win the champ.
It's so wild, man. They just won.
Wild. It's the same. I think it's kind of a similar situation to the Bulls, where they lost some guys and they didn't really add anybody. I mean, they got Dante DiVincenzo, who I like and who I think will help them a lot. They're so expensive, and it's hard to bring back all your talent. So I think Jordan Poole's going to get better. I think they have that championship glow. I think they're going to be very good, but it's more about the rest of the teams around them getting better and a more competitive Western Conference, same as the East. So I think they're getting maybe slept on a little bit, but they're still up there, right?
Yeah. They're an issue. All right, Steph Curry is a problem. They still have their core intact. You see, Wiggins is better. They have a really good basketball team, man.
And you could tell it brought Steph Curry and Draymond and all those guys joy to be counted out and underrated all of last season.
Oh my god!
All the way up until they were sitting up there at the championship podium,
loved it.
That's 4.
Yep.
And what do y'all have to say now?
Right.
we washed up. We don't have KD anymore.
Yep.
Still got it.
Going in the documentary.
Love that. Quickly, I love these 2 back-to-back comments here from Bruno and Garnell. Garnell saying, "Good afternoon, fellas." Bruno chiming in saying, "Hello, guys, and good night." So maybe Bruno's chiming in from somewhere over there in Europe.
Shout out, Bruno, man.
Where it's getting closer to bedtime.
Yes. Paris, Bruno, Paris.
I don't know. I've heard that we don't talk about Bruno, or at least you're not supposed to. Encanto? It's a classic.
Yes, I know what it's from.
Have you watched it?
No, I have not.
Watch it.
I don't
it's
have
great.
My nieces aren't the age.
I guess that's true. Your nieces are at their grown-up jobs right now.
That's right.
Mine are at nap time.
That's right.
Unky Matt. So, interesting results of these surveys all around. Quickly, before we get out of here, who will be the best rookie from this class in 5 years? Paolo and Chet tied with 6 votes apiece. Yeah. Jaden Ivey got 2. Keegan Murray got 1.
Jaden Ivey.
Jabari Smith, nowhere to be found. 0 votes for the number 2 pick.
You're right.
Maybe because his name is Jabari and he was a number 2 pick. I don't know. Could be some sort of, number 3 pick.
That's right. Get your hate right.
Chet was 2.
Also,
get your hate right.
Get your hate right. I think the narrative is swinging a little too far on Jabari. He'll be a good player.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The disrespect on Dalen Terry. No votes for Dalen Terry. What the hell?
And man, I don't know. I just hope the Bulls more bulletin board material for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Put it up.
So I saw somebody in the comments earlier said, hey, another chip on the Bulls' collective shoulder.
More stuff.
For being just completely ignored in this NBA coaches and GM survey. Man. But again, did any of these categories scream out to you, oh, there should be a Bulls player or the Bulls as a team as an answer in there anywhere?
No. No.
The only thing that I thought might happen is they got a vote for worst offseason because they kind of stood pat while a lot of other teams in the East got better.
But I'm just saying, when I see the Wizards with a vote for best offseason,
that's weird.
I'm like,
that is weird.
What are we doing here?
They're going to be a bottom team in the East. I don't really know why they got credit for that unless it was a member of the Wizards staff.
Shout out to the Wizards staff, I guess. Good looking out. Thanks, Coach.
Will, you are off tomorrow, correct?
I am off tomorrow.
And then you're back with us on Thursday.
Back with you on Thursday.
Are you traveling, Will, or what?
I'm traveling back home this weekend, but no traveling the rest of the week. Tomorrow, though, today's my last day of my 20s, guys. I'm turning 30 tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
Oh, that's why.
My
There we go. There it is.
I know.
We have to do
Happy
something.
birthday.
We have to do something embarrassing to Will
Happy
on our episode tomorrow
birthday
while
to
he's
you.
gone.
Joey's gonna have a graphic for you. Don't worry, Will.
Don't worry, I have
you
you
know.
a gift. I have you a gift, and it's something you're really gonna like.
Oh,
Well, that sounded like something
I
a
have a
creepy
feeling I
murderer
know
would
what it
say.
is.
I have
No,
a
I'll just
gift.
tell you now. It's an Alperen Şengün T-shirt jersey. Your favorite player ever. I'll have
He's been
it.
going back and forth since their fantasy draft. Will's been trying to snake Şengün away from Joey and has not
Unsuccessful
succeeded.
so far
man.
being the operative.
I'm gonna get him on the show. I'm
I'm with all
right.
Go for it.
I know he's
Yeah.
not a Bulls player, but
But hey, we
I'm gonna
take
get him on the
NBA
show.
players. NBA players. Yes, we take everybody.
Yeah.
Come on through.
Well, Will, enjoy the big 3-0, buddy.
Yes.
You don't look a day over 24, but congrats on hitting that 3-0. It's fun. The 30s rock.
Yeah.
Halfway through them myself, and they are
I
just a
hope you're
boatload
right.
of fun.
I really hope you're right.
Enjoy enjoy Brazil. Thanks and appreciation to Will for popping in the bubble. Before we go, Joey, how's that shorts brew treating you?
oh man, this Lil Huma.
Lil
That's-
Huma.
It is. It's crisp. It's nice. Only 95 calories too. Not that we care, you know.
Not that we care about
But
calories.
It's beautiful. I am. I've got a little bit of. I probably could have gone with the Big Huma,
The big Huma.
but
You just got to watch yourself.
I got Cubs. I got Cubs
Yes, you
pregame
have work to
later.
do.
I got to drive home. So
Right.
we're all about safety.
You,
here.
you
That's
drink.
right.
You
See,
drink
look at
one.
Lawrence looking at you.
You drink
Don't
one
do that,
Huma
man.
Lupulicious.
that?
You're okay.
No.
I'll save.
You drink 1.5
That's all.
Humas and you start to feel them get on top of you a little bit.
Maybe I'll save it for when I get home. I'll have the Big Huma.
I brought Joey
Yes.
my self-made variety 6-pack of my favorite shorts beers that I brought home.
Just a really thoughtful, nice thing. Not surprised. Pack. Always
And-
bringing us gifts back. What do you get you, Dave?
He brought me some of the jam, the blackberry preserves that I love, and he brought me some sauerkraut.
Crowd baby.
brought-
Shout out to Farmer White's.
So we're gonna do
Some of
it
the
all.
best sauerkraut in the world.
Yeah, man.
There's my little homemade variety pack. That's the Pure Michigan Autumn Ale that is delicious.
And here's what there's the
Yeah.
sauerkraut.
There
right
it is.
here.
Farmer White sauerkraut
There's the
right there.
sauerkraut right there.
Great toppings to put on a brat. We're going to be eating a lot of Green Ridge Farm
preserves.
brats.
I have these in my house.
This is amazing.
Everybody needs their Alton's jam.
It's amazing,
Will,
dog.
I have jam for you. I have beers for you. You got to hurry home.
And I got athletic greens
or
for
I'm
you,
going
Will.
to eat all the jam and I'm going to drink all the beers, okay?
I'm gonna drink all the
You
athletic
got me the
greens.
jam last time, and I ate it in like 2 days. So
Well, that's why I got you. That's why I brought you a fresh jar back on my most recent trip.
much appreciated.
Yes,
Yeah, man.
It is delicious.
You know I got to take care of my crew.
We appreciate it, sir.
All right, y'all. We are out until tomorrow. Dave and I will be back in studio. Normal time, 3 p.m. Chicago time, 3 p.m. Central.
Hey, Cody's here.
Hey, hi,
Hey,
Cody. We got some Cubs content coming up for you guys later
Yes.
today. Stay tuned. We got bets today, Cody? Bets, 4:30? Boom. Keep it locked here at CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Give us a thumbs up on today's episode. It helps us out a lot. Appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Shirtless Wonder's back.
Shirtless Wonder's
He's
back.
got a gold chain too, Will.
2 watches, no shirt, and a ciggy hanging from the mouth.
And a gold chain.
And a gold chain.
Oh, this is the
For
man.
Joey, for the GOAT, for Big Dave, I'm Pack. Appreciate you. Love you, Bulls Nation. Till tomorrow. See you, Red. Be good.